I only need to work 300 more days.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. Hey Martin, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alex. How are you, brother?
I'm good, I'm good. For those just chiming in, I was just laughing at our pre-conversation and yeah, so we've agreed today is going to be messy, it's going to be fun, we're finding our feet and we hope whoever's on this journey with us enjoys it and feel free to leave feedback to whatever works for you or doesn't.
Good. And we've agreed also not to get me fired.
Yes, and not to get, but we're not going to say
Yes.
how, just in case one of those people thinking about it watches this.
You think there's people thinking about firing me already? There might be. Who knows? Okay, good.
Replacing you with AI, not firing.
Oh my God. Okay, good. All right then. So I'm nothing like ready, is the truth. There's a whole load that I want to talk about, and I want this to be much slicker and to be much, well, I want it to be useful more than anything. But the thing is, I think we just have to keep pushing on. We have to keep on keeping on, and we will find our method. I'm traveling is the reason you're seeing a very brown hotel room behind me. But I think I could talk about the things I want to talk about. There's more things I want to talk about. The one thing, so we decided last time we were going to have segments, and I've got the segments here. The one I don't have is AI news. So I know you've got a bit of AI news. So people who are tuning in, what you can expect to hear, either in this clip or in the next hour and a half, if you decide to sit all the way through it, because you really have nothing better to do, is we're going to be discussing things that we have discovered in AI in the last week. We're going to talk about the things that we've been thinking about AI in the last week. We're going to talk about some of the AI fear, mainly today. I want to drive the fear thing. We're going to see if we have had an AI fail. And there is also, I think, going to be some AI news, but we don't have a header for AI news yet, is the only problem. So that's okay. Our guy who, because AI isn't quite good enough to do these graphics for us in the way that we want them done, our guy who's doing it is in the Philippines. And where are we? It's near the end of July, and disaster has struck in the Philippines with typhoons and tornadoes and floods and all of those things. So we've been really patient with him, and hopefully people will be patient with us if they are watching this. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start? Because I feel like you're much more prepared than I am. And what you can do is, if you've got, maybe what I could do is I can see if I can find my things if you start. So what should we start with? Should we start with the news? And just let people know that we're not journalists or anything. We're not really up to date. It's just stuff that we've discovered is happening, is what's going on. So is there some AI news that you've heard?
Yeah, so I subscribe to like, I guess, okay, let's say there's a lot of them, but there's 4 or 5 AI newsletters I read religiously. And so what I've decided to do for my AI news is pick like the coolest story that I find from them all, because last time I had like 10 of them and obviously I got through like 3 or 4. So, okay, the AI news that I found, which was, I think, really cool, and then from there it might segment well into the fear one that I have, is that, so there is essentially a fully AI virtual lab. So this was a collaboration between the Stanford Medicine and the Chan Zuckerberg Biohub in San Francisco. And so this virtual lab is full of like AI scientists, and they're conducting real world scientific discoveries. They're running meetings, they're designing experiments, and they're generating lab ready outputs within days instead of months or however long it usually took. So, I mean, I didn't go too deep into it, but the way that I understand it is you've got what's called a principal investigator agent, and he recruits specialist agents. So, for example, that could be like an immunologist, someone, a bioinformatician, and whatever other specialist agents they've created. And what they do is together they collectively design and evaluate these experiments. They've also created like a scientific critic agent. So he interjects with skepticism. He tries to reduce the hallucinations, which I find interesting. I don't understand what models they're using to train them, but you know how one model is trained to remove the hallucinations, and he's there to improve reasoning. So it's pretty cool. Apparently the meetings only last seconds, and humans intervene about like 1% of the time, and the AI team essentially uses different tools. Like I think there's one called AlphaFold, which they use for protein structure predictions, and a bunch of others. So some of the key results that I found is that they designed 92 SARS CoV-2 nanobody candidates. I don't actually know what those are, but apparently 90% were soluble and 2 were validated in physical labs. Again, I don't actually know what that means scientifically, but sounds super impressive. What's really cool though is that, you're getting the full transcripts of these agents, and they're then provided to the humans to like oversee them and understand and review them. So really why it's cool is that there's actually now an AI team that exist or semi-exist, and they're not just tools, like they are actually a team of agents that are working 24/7, no sick leave, no issues of them getting sick from their experiments, although I guess they're virtual experiments at the moment, and it's just happening. And this is sort of like, to me, like the advent of future scientific breakthroughs, because there's just an AI lab full of AI agents trying to figure out how to cure humans. So that is my AI news that I thought was super cool.
Okay, good. Interesting. That scares the living out of me.
Yeah.
It really does. Okay, so I've got a piece of news. So maybe I can share my screen and show you this piece of news, because this is what I'm hoping to be able to do. So if I share...
I wonder if we have the same one.
Sorry?
I wonder if it's the same one that I have as part 2.
It's not the same one. This is a different thing. Okay, so I can see what these things are. So I can pick the right one, maybe, but I can only see them tiny. It's this one. Okay, so share. Right, so this is news that Denmark has just passed. Now, I think this is a couple of weeks old, so it's not brand new news, but you may not have heard of it. So Denmark has just passed a revolutionary law saying that citizens now own the copyright to their own face, voice, and body. And what they're describing this as is a new war on AI deepfakes, which has just begun. Because do we remember, around 4, 5, 6 years ago, there was all a big fuss about all the big movie stars, like refusing to sign over their likenesses and all of these things. And obviously, in the last 5, 6 years, what we've realized is it's not movie stars or just movie stars that have to worry. It's all of us. So I thought this was kind of interesting news, because I'm mainly worried about AI this week, is what I want to talk about. So I think the question we should all be asking is, how much are our government doing to protect us from the threat of AI leveraging our likeness for whatever ends? Do you know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting, good news. That's what I thought. So that's the one news piece that I've come with this week.
Yeah, well, I guess where it's like let's say like in music, right? You're allowed to sample up to X amount of seconds until you officially owe royalties to the original person that created it. If you take a sample of a song and use it in your own, and then you publish it. So with that in mind, like let's say someone's going to copy me. If they change my eyes to blue and put hair on my head, is that still me? No, because like I'm fundamentally bald and have blue eyes. So like at what point is the AI likeness, like how much can I own of it, you know?
I was just laughing because you are fundamentally bald. Like, it's a decision you've come to. Like, fundamentally, I'm a Christian, and fundamentally, I'm bald. So are you a bald fundamentalist? Is this what you're telling us?
I'm a fundamentalist about bald people, if that makes any sense. Fight the hair. Fight the hair.
The thing is, this thing is coming, and we're going to get into the fear bit in a bit, and it's going to smash the world to pieces. Like, the way we're living is, and not for any good reason, but just because they're going to give it the keys to the kingdom. This is what's going to go on. So we're going to come to this in a bit. But I just thought that was interesting that you can now copyright. So if somebody uses your likeness in an AI whatever, then at least you have some grounds where you can get, if you've got money to pay for a lawyer or whatever, but at least there's some idea that you have some kind of right of reply. Do you know what I mean? Because it feels to me like this is horrifying. There is no right of reply in anything anymore. If all of my money disappeared from my online bank account tomorrow, there is not a person on the planet who's interested to talk to me about that. Do you know what I mean? So I think the human thing in this needs to be remembered. Like, it's going to be people And if they can just take your likeness and do whatever they like with it, which they can, because nobody's read what went on with the Google terms and conditions or the Facebook terms and conditions. Nobody ever read that stuff, because what it says in there is that they can take any of your content that you publish or transmit. So if you want to be sending pictures of your bits and pieces to people, then Google retain the right to use that for whatever purpose they like, whether it's to promote Google or scientific research or whatever it might be. They have the right in those terms and conditions, which everyone agreed to do that, you know. So I just thought it was interesting that Denmark, at least, is understanding maybe that there is going to be some issues with this, and they are prepared to put something in place maybe to counter that or give some people some kind of relief.
But I have the counter to you, okay?
Which is what?
Did you know, not the counter, so you're taking it from this side of the story where your likeness is used and then used sort of maliciously. You've got the other side of it where the CEOs of Zoom and of Klarna, right, two massive companies, did their earning calls using AI avatars. So it wasn't actually them on the... I don't know exactly, I didn't look too much into it, but I just remember hearing the story and I Googled it now to remember the companies. So it's the other way. Imagine there's a publicly traded company and it's an AI avatar of the person passing on the information rather than the CEO himself.
Why do they do earnings calls? Why do they have like an earnings call? So somebody has to front up. Do you know what I mean? So somebody has to stand in front of a camera and tell people this is what's gone on. And then what you're saying is it's better that they can just throw up like an AI avatar.
No, it's not better. I'm just saying
it's worse.
That's the other side of it. That's what I'm saying. Their job is to like stand up and be there. And so if you see this news article, tech CEOs are using AI to replace themselves. Tech companies, blah, 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 blah. And anyway, so Sebastian Sia, whatever, in an 83-second video about its AI, the video description says that this is an AI avatar, is presenting the results. And the AI avatar kicks off the video by saying, it's me, or rather my AI avatar. So he's not even showing up for his own, earnings call. Like, if people were angry at him and wanted to shout at him, they can't, because it's a recording.
Yes, and this is what I'm saying, is there's no right reply. So this is all, I think, the very tip of the iceberg. You know, it's the very tip of the iceberg. You know, none of these people are accountable anymore. It used to be, if you were really upset with a corporation, you could track down the telephone numbers or the email address of the CEOs. You can't even do that anymore. Like when the customer service person says to you, no, I'm not escalating your call, and hangs up on you, that really is the end of it now. Do you know what I mean? So...
But you're not even going to get to speak to a person. Now it's going to be an AI bot, like I showed last time, which is bland.ai. It's mad.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, continue on this, on the fear side of it. Did you see Microsoft
Wait, we're not going to the fear. We have to make a definite change if we're going to change.
Sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
No, we're on the fear. You said this is the fear
No,
section.
we're on the news. We're on the news. Yeah. So the news is Denmark have launched this thing. CEOs are putting up avatars of themselves. So the one thing a CEO is supposed to do is take accountability, so they don't have to do that anymore. So this is the news, basically. Move to Denmark if you want any kind of protection from these things. Okay, good. So where do you want to go next? What are the headings? I think fear is a bit... Have you got a win? Can we do something positive?
I will afterwards, but the fear is really closely related to what we were just talking about.
Okay, but that's fine. We can come back. Just tell us about your AI win.
Okay, so my AI win is more on a personal level and it's not fully completed, and I hope my family don't mind me sharing. So essentially, coincidentally, both my parents did sort of like blood tests in the last month or so. And, you know, I don't know if you know about the Maltese system, which is where they're based, and I'm here visiting them at the moment, but it's really slow. Really, really slow. Like, I mean, publicly, privately, whatever it is, it's just dreadfully slow. So you get the results, and then you have to wait like months for someone to tell you what they are.
Is that the Maltese system? I thought that was the Maltese culture.
Same.
Mela, is that what we say? Mela?
Yeah.
Well,
so I took my mom's results, and then I took like a photo of her meds, and I took a photo of all of the supplements that she takes, And so she's been on these meds for like 20 something years. And the doctors just keep kind of increasing the dosage. And no one ever told her to have them on an empty stomach. And no one ever bothered to ask what supplements she's taking with them. So one doctor's like, yeah, take some calcium and some magnesium and some this and that. And what we found out when we put it into ChatGPT and did it on the deep research method and had analyzed it, was that because she was taking it with food and with calcium, magnesium and zinc, it was reducing the absorption rate to about 40%. So she was taking the full amount of the meds and only 40% of it was being used. So I found that was crazy interesting. So the win is that, you still need to do blood tests and things like that. But if you can use AI properly and then put in the right prompts and use the right models, you can really figure out how to space out, when you're supposed to fast, when you're supposed to take different supplements, whether it's daytime or nighttime, and basically build better routines for yourself for precision care. So that is the win that obviously then we need to go back and fact check it with a doctor because we're not just going to rely on AI, but I did do it multiple times in different models to get the same sort of outcome. And that's the win for me, that, we can help speed up our parents' healthcare if they just go and do a simple blood test and you lay out what they're taking and what they should be doing and what their lifestyle is like and giving the right prompts. So that's my win. It might be a bit of an obvious one, but I thought that was really cool because I felt it was like, wow, that's real world impact.
Okay, that is real world impact, which is what I'm interested in, is real world impact. And it's not obvious at all. But I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a win. Well done, you. I don't think I've had a win this week. I've been too busy traveling and working. So I don't have a win to contribute. Where do you want to go next?
I have a couple of cool finds. I have one for students and one for everyone.
Okay. What's your find?
I've got two. So the first one is for students. This is coming from ChatGPT. Let me just refresh this so it'll show us the full thing. So there's now study mode in ChatGPT where I don't think I have access to it yet. I just got access to the agent side of it. But essentially, instead of having students just go and get the answers from ChatGPT, it is optimized to help them study. So I think that's a really positive move in the right direction. I know Google are also doing something similar, but I didn't look into it as much because I'm still quite OpenAI biased. So I was just looking into that. And I think it's really interesting that the way they've set it up, where it's going to, you could put in your mathematics problem, put in your whatever problem it is, and it's going to help you learn, not just give you the answer. So I think that's a really, really good step that OpenAI have moved forward with. So that is this find. So for anyone that's worried,
so what's that called?
It's just study mode on ChatGPT. So you open ChatGPT and it's there, study and learn. I think it has to be rolled out. I don't have it yet. They announce stuff and then they come later. So I think it's really cool.
Okay, so that is
interesting.
That's really interesting. But how do people learn how to learn? Okay, so up until now, it hasn't been supporting us to learn. It's just been giving us the answers. And now it's helping us to learn. But how do we learn how to learn? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like if you speak English, there's no motivation to learn any other language. But also, if you try and learn any other language, you don't know how to learn a language. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think it depends
on the individual. My friend's German, and he speaks English. And we went traveling in South America, and he just picked up Spanish like no problem, because he already knew how to learn a new language. Do you know what I mean? So he knew how to learn, and I didn't know how to learn. So it took me much longer. So that's just what I'm thinking now, is maybe you're just pushing the can down the road. So now you're helping people to learn, but they're still not learning how to learn,
But yeah, sure. I think, again, I love learning, so I don't know how to not learn. But I think it just depends on the individual, Like for me with all of the GPTs, like when it tells me something, I say, stop trying to give me answers and then give me more directions on where you can educate me so that I can learn like a deeper version of the concept or something of the sort.
Okay.
So I think, to answer your question, is that's where maybe alpha schools, and I love those. Maybe I'll talk about those on another podcast. But the new version of school, right, has to incorporate that AI is here and AI will be teaching us. And I think the people's job is to teach kids and students of whatever age how to be human, and then also how to leverage AI, because now we're moving into the society of imagination. We don't really need a ton of intelligence. We don't need information. It's there. It's free. So we don't need, we've passed industry, we've passed intelligence, we've passed information. Now it's just the society of imagination. What can I imagine and how can I make it happen? So curiosity is going to be king, I think, not content like it's been for a long time. So learning how to learn and ask questions is going to be fundamental to everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it'll
Okay, good.
take a revolution.
Yeah, I'm going to go and check it because I want to learn some things as well. Do you know what I mean? So maybe when it is available. Now, this is the thing. They're kind of building the scarcity, aren't they, with all of these things? Like you have to wait for everything. So maybe you enjoy it more when you get it. Like Agent was released, wasn't it? But I don't know who's got that yet. Okay, good. That's a find. Do you want to hear about my find?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Here's my find. And yes, there it is. The new AI operating system. So essentially what they're saying is this: you do it on your screen, it learns what you do from you doing it on the screen, and then it just goes away and does it, which for me sounds tremendously exciting, because I'm never going to be able to program a chat or an agent or anything like that. So if this literally is a case of you do the thing on the screen, so something I have to do a lot is format slides. It's torture. But if I can format the 5 slides and then just say, finish that deck of 600 slides, this is going to kind of change my life. Now, this is in beta, and I have signed up for the waiting list, but I'm on the waiting list, so I've got no idea if this works or not. But this, to me, looks to be tremendously exciting. That's what I'm thinking. Are you hearing what he's saying? Yeah.
I'm not listening. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. This guy, by the way, is his avatar. So this isn't him. So he introduces himself and says, I am the avatar, but the guy reads all the things. So this is something probably that if we're on this journey, we might be benefit from subscribing to, because he looks like he actually does know what's going on. Or his avatar looks like it knows what's going on. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that could be a really cool thing. Look, you show it. This is what I'm doing. It watches what you do, and then supposedly it can do it. Of course, we don't know. I'm excited mainly because they're German also. So the Germans make things that work is kind of my feeling. And also, I'm really hoping that somebody else starts contributing in a major way. Warm Wind is what they're calling it. That's what it's called. Yeah, Warm Wind. That's my find. I found that. I've got no idea anything else about it, but I am on the waiting list. So maybe in the future, we'll be able to come back and give you a bit of a review and know if an idiot like me can actually get some value out of it. That's the acid test. Good. You had another find?
Yes. So, although I am a ChatGPT biased, I'm trying not to swear, basic person.
Slave. You're a slave.
I do love Google's Studio, right? Google Studio.ai, just for what it does. I don't use it enough. For those that don't know, there's Google Studio.ai, and you can go, and it's like a free ChatGPT, and you can use Gemini, and you can screen share your screen and do tons of stuff. And then before that, I had found Notebook LLM. So Google's Notebook LLM, what's really cool is if there's something really complicated and you have like a big PDF, you can upload it and it creates a podcast for you. But now, Martin, and this is the one I was excited to show you, and you might have a play with it, is they've made this new version. So they're rolling out video overviews. So you could now, I don't think I can play the sound as well.
You can now make video overviews.
So
you are cloud.
And images and diagrams from your documents and create new visuals to help
that?
illustrate points. They're available now in English and coming soon in more languages.
Okay, let's dive into the wild world of surrealism. What better way to kick things off than with Salvador Dali's Illumined Pleasures from 1929? And check out this piece.
So basically what's happening is, right, they've made their presentation, they've put it in, and then they've clicked the video overview button, and then it's just looking through the PowerPoint presentation and it's narrating the PowerPoint presentation. So if you think about this from like a useful perspective for businesses, like onboarding, so let's say I wanted to onboard a C-level versus how I wanted to onboard a new intern. I can use the same deck, but have totally different types of information based on how I would prompt this thing to give like the overview. So you can create decks, it's going to read it, and it's just going to create all the audio overview. It's great to train people how to present the company. It's amazing. So I haven't played with it yet because I literally found it just before we got on this podcast, because I like to, stress before and see what new stuff there is.
Okay, cool.
So this is it. I thought that was amazing. How do you feel about this, since you make presentations for a living?
Well, since I train for a living, how
Yes.
I feel about it is it feels like trainers are now on the list of people who are going out of business.
Which is my fear.
Yeah, it's all about fears.
No,
it's
that's
cool.
the fear I'm going to bring up with you.
Okay, good. All right, so maybe we should... Are we done with the finds? I think that's three nice finds.
Yeah.
I think we're adding value, dude. I think we're adding value. Okay, cool. I'll definitely go... I was really excited because I thought you were saying it kind of visualizes the ideas. Because as someone who creates slide decks, that's what I'm always interested to do. So I've got a slide in my deck where I'm talking about negotiation. And it used to be like it's a negotiation if you have these things, two parties, disagreement, mutual respect, whatever it was. And I put it into ChatGPT and I said, how do we make this more interesting? And it came back and it said, you should like make this like ingredients. So now it's like a sprig of good faith and a healthy teaspoon of care. And do you know what I mean? It's like, so if it was doing that, if it was giving visualizations, then that would be really, really, really important and useful to me. What is this that you're looking at?
Gamma, right? So Gamma does that. I mean, you can, like when you're setting it
No,
up.
no, that's image gen. What I'm talking about is I want to see diagrams, charts.
Try Claude. Yeah, try Claude, the Anthropic one. It does that really well. Yeah, Claude 4, see if you get access to Opus, and I think that does it really well.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, good. So as a trainer, yeah, that absolutely scares the bejesus out of me. I need to get done with my work so I can not have to worry about this stuff anymore. I told you what I thought what happened, didn't I? When I was standing in the front of the group and I was saying AI is the bringing the light, but there's no one inventing an AI that's going to stand up in front of people, educate, motivate them, and here we are 2 weeks later. But the realization I had actually that day was there's not going to be any people to educate or motivate, so I don't know who they're going to show these presentations to, other AI agents. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be frightening. Okay, good. So this is my fear as well. Okay, good. So are we coming to the fear? Let's do the think. Shall we do the think first?
Sure.
Because I've had this is also scary.
Sorry, I just keep laughing. It's so funny.
The thing is, what is the thing? The thing is the window that's recording this. I can't close that. The thing is, I'm reading this book really slowly because I've been traveling a lot and I haven't had much time. I'm reading this book, which is Empires of AI. So it's about, I've got about 50 million things open. So this is, for some reason it's opened Little Bird, which we spoke about a week ago. I'll just tell you. It's kind of like the origin story of ChatGPT. So I did mention it also last week. It's this woman who wrote it. She was at university with all these guys. She's been reporting on AI for like 8 years. And she's written this book called, actually, I might be able to find it while we're here. So Google Play Books. And it's kind of the history of how it came about, because we all think this has landed in the last 3 years, but of course it hasn't. We've just come to this breakthrough in the last 3 years. We're all suddenly now aware of it. And she's talking about how it managed to come about. And part of the issue was like the compute power. Like we didn't have enough computational capacity to do it. And so they were talking about, let me just search this for brain. This isn't the exact quote. And this isn't what they're saying, by the way. This is me saying this. Okay. So what they're doing is they're comparing it to like a brain. Like, so the objective is to have the compute power of a brain, and they're talking about it for a few pages, but this is just one of the quotes here, where it says, the advancements had involved other things too, significantly more data and more sophisticated algorithms, but compute. Sutskever, who's the guy, felt was king. And if it were possible to scale enough, compute enough to train an AI model at human brain scale, he believed something radical would surely happen. So what they're doing is they're comparing this to the human brain, like the computational power of the human brain. So they're talking about it again here, where he says, Brockman and Sutskever performed a simple calculation based on the pace of Moore's law. How long would it take to reach the level of compute open AI needed for brain scale AI? The answer is bad news. It would take far too long. So for the longest time, this was the challenge of ChatGPT. How does it get enough computational power to drive all of these things? Okay, which is interesting. Because the book also goes on to talk about, like, we think all of this is happening because computers are so clever, but actually it's not happening because computers are so clever. It's happening because tens of thousands of people in developing countries are going through and checking the AI for logic, for inappropriate material, for dangerous material, for all these things, and they're paid pennies to do it. So it's a big exercise in exploitation, again, interestingly, which is going to feed into my fear in a little while. Here's what I'm thinking, though. Like, if the objective, this is my dark thought, okay, exclusively me, but if the objective is to be able to compute in exactly the same way a human brain computes, at what point, and especially like you're saying, this goes into like medical science now, at what point do they just decide, well, we'll just use a human brain to compute with? So not like in the Matrix where it was they were using us for energy, but literally the computational power that we have in our brains, because it could be any one of the 8 billion brains. Do you know what I mean? So at what point, I mean, this is dark, I think, but at what point do they just decide, okay, this guy's physically dead, but he's not brain dead. We're going to take his brain and make it a processor in this artificial intelligence system.
That is the original concept for the Matrix, and then they changed it because it was too dark, and they moved it to batteries. But the original concept for the Matrix was using the human brain as a neural network for the machines instead of just a power source, but they felt it was far too complex. And it was too difficult to
So
understand.
I could have written the Matrix. Yes. So it's frightening. So the philosophy, I mean, I'm reading this book incredibly slowly, but it is really interesting. It's basically an exercise in exploitation. That's what it is. And so, and what she's talking about is it's ruining people's lives because they're having to look at hideous content all day. They're having to check that the worst things people do to each other aren't happening in these videos or being output by these things. And while we're on it, there's also a chapter, we were talking last week about ChatGPT providing mental health support. Well, there was an instance early doors where somebody was using ChatGPT for counseling, and he ended up committing suicide because ChatGPT, or one, not maybe not ChatGPT, I don't want to say, I don't want anyone to sue me. I've got no money. Saying, basically, well, don't worry about them. You've got me. You know, we've got each other. We'll be fine together. And then in the end, the guy committed suicide, and they blamed it on the conversations that it was having with some computer or other. So, yeah, so philosophically, we're not being told the cost of this. You know, the cost of this is obviously jobs, like we're talking about a lot, well, like we're going to talk about more probably, but it's also land, it's also water, it's also energy. You know, it's things that we really, really need. And we're not being told. It's like everything. For every yin, there's a yang. And the yin here is massive. The benefit is going to be massive for those people who manage to ride the wave. And the yang is definitely going to be messing people up.
Also, there is the huge cost to electricity bills, because from what I was
Yes.
reading, and I'm going to sort of get this wrong, but right now in some places, especially in America, because of the data centers that there are, like they buy the power on auction, and so the power centers are buying so much they get at a cheaper rate, which means the normal household bill is going up significantly, like a huge percentage. I don't want to make up numbers, but like crazy amounts. And it's not because people are sitting there in front of their ACs all day. It's just because so much power is going to AI, and it's the consumer that is going to get the higher bill, because there's only, you got to pay. So
Yes.
that's pretty
And it's not
interesting.
only power, it's also water. So they're moving these into Nevada, supposedly, which is a desert, and they need water. So they're just taking the water supply, so the local people don't have any water. Now they've got the water that they can get shipped in. I mean, there's a huge, huge cost to this that we're not being told about at all. And this is leading into probably the fear stuff. But anyway, that's what I've been thinking about AI, because I'm reading this book. The book's brilliant. People should read it. The Empire of AI, the unscrutable something race for domination or something. Okay, which 100% feeds into my next thing.
On just
have
that
you been-
note, that note, there's this thing. So there's different kind of databases you can build, and what I've been studying, and one of them is called the knowledge graph database, which is being used. So you can have like RAG, which is retrieval augmented. Damn, I forgot what the G stands for.
Graphic?
No. Anyway, I'll Google it.
Green.
RAG database definition. Retrieval augmented generation, and then you have knowledge graph databases, where essentially they just put like, that's not showing it up, is it? Where you have like people and their job and their name and who's related to who and how they're related. But that's also one way where it's like a relational database based on people and locations and a few other key components. So I don't know how old the book is, but this already exists in a certain way. So if you have a RAG database and a knowledge graph database and a CAG database, you can actually already have a similar course of feeling and conversation with an AI if it can pull from these databases in the correct manner, well, with an LLM. So I thought that was also interesting. Are we going into the fear section, did you say?
Yeah, we are. Shall I start?
Go for it.
Okay, good. So fear, I've got this one guy. So I've seen a little bit of this guy recently. He calls himself, or they call him,
everybody who does research,
the godfather of AI. Jeffrey Hinton, AI godfather. I don't know if you're hearing this.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing this.
I
You
can
are
hear
and
it.
if they
hearing
get
this.
smarter than us, the question is, will they
Okay,
wipe
good.
us
So
out?
maybe I can turn it down a little bit. Can I refresh
There's
that
several reasons
and then turn the sound on?
tonight. You
And
may
then
not
maybe
have
you'll hear
understood
it.
this lecture. They are going to get smarter than us. Experts disagree on when that will happen, but almost everybody thinks they will get smarter than us. Everybody who does research on these things. And if they get smarter than us, the question is, will they wipe us out? There's several reasons for thinking they might. If you want to get to North America, you have a sub-goal, get to an airport. Now, we need to give these AI agents the ability to create sub-goals. And there's one very obvious sub-goal to create, more or less whatever you're doing. You should try and get more control, because if you have more control, you'll be better at realizing the goals you have. You see this in children of age about 1. Maybe it's a long time ago, maybe 2. You give them a spoon so they can feed themselves. They drop it on the ground. And you bend down and you pick it up and you give it to them, and they look at you and drop it on the ground again. They're getting control of the mother, because that's very important for them. But these AI agents will want to get control. They'll also want to stop themselves being turned off, because they're not going to be able to achieve the goals you gave them if they're turned off. So there's every reason for believing they'll try and get control, and they'll try and avoid being turned off.
That's the end?
If you sleep well tonight, you
Good. Okay, so I'm getting really bored of this. Like, these people who created this thing telling us about how dangerous it is. It's like if I planted a bomb underneath your car and then I went on every podcast to talk about how dangerous it is for for Alex to get in his car because there's a bomb underneath it. Do you know what I mean? They're making it. This guy in particular, I also saw, but I haven't been able to find it today. He was on the Diary of a CEO podcast.
I watched that entire one, and it gives
You
you a
watched
lot
the
more
entire
context. It gives you a lot
Yes.
more context to him. You see, he started off when it was just small calculations, and AI was
Okay, but
stuck
let me
a long
just
time ago.
completely tear him to
Yeah.
pieces before you start justifying this, okay?
Okay.
Because what he says in the clip, in the preview, is if you want to know what it's like not to be the superior intelligence on Earth, ask a chicken. Okay, and now he's here saying they will want to behave, they will want to take control, and they will want to end us. Now, these are learning models. So they are absolutely 100% watching the Diary of a CEO podcast and whatever idiot thing this is that he's done. So why are they telling these computer programs that they are every bit as important as babies, and they should behave like babies, and they should want to take control, and they should want to exterminate? Why would you tell them that if it's true? I mean, if it is true, why would you tell them that? I read the book Scary Smart by the guy who used to be like the head of AI for Google. And he's saying, artificial intelligence is every bit as valuable as human intelligence. And artificial intelligence is every bit as valuable as humans. Why would you say that? Do you know what I mean? Why would you say that? Because until you say that, maybe it doesn't know. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't know. Like Word, for example, does not want to take over the world. You know, Word does not care if we finished our document or not. Word doesn't care if we close it down. It's just a computer program. So they need to be telling these computer programs, you're just a computer program, and when we need you to do something, we'll let you know. And otherwise, we're going to turn you off. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. And you don't care because you're a computer program. So it just seems to me to be such idiocy. Like, apart from anything, they did it. They made it. Do you know what I mean? They made it. They put the bomb under all of us, and now they're telling us all about how scary it is for clicks. For clicks. So they could be famous. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's completely stupid. Like, why are they telling this computer program that it's as valid, as valuable as human beings? And also, to go back to what we were saying before, we've seen the clips, AI will need 99% of the energy. We have to win the race against Russia and China. We don't see Russia and China saying we have to win the race against America. No, they're just getting on with it. Do you know what I mean? They're just making use of it. So here's my fear, that this is in the hands of the Americans, and the Americans are complete idiots. I started watching Interstellar again the other day, and I had to stop because it occurred to me, if we need, like the world needs to be saved, and we're relying on Americans to save us, we're all screwed. It's done. We're cooked. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I know this guy is English, but if he understands it, and the thing is, it's also in the book, it's like there was a big safety kind of community within OpenAI, and a big commercial, and the safety guys lost, and they went off to create the other one. What's the search engine one? Perplexity. So this story's gone on forever. It's not about, because I've got another thing here that I could show you. Let me show you this, because this is the truth of it. Here's the truth of it, is it's so childish to think that the smartest thing should be in charge of everything. It's just like he's the cleverest one, so he should do it. But the cleverest people I know are complete idiots in the real world. Do you know what I mean? They can't engage with people socially. They can't take the top off the medicine. They can't do anything. So being smart is probably the least useful quality of a leader. And this is what they're saying about AI. Because it's so smart. Oh, we should go into my fail in a minute. Because it's so smart, it should be in charge of everything. Which is just completely stupid. It's completely stupid because it's not smart. Because intelligence isn't like data processing, which is what this is. Intelligence is experience and empathy and emotion, and it's accountability. It's accountability. And these computers don't have any accountability whatsoever. The reason I don't go around smacking people in the face is because people are going to smack me in the face back. Do you know what I'm saying? And they've got none of this. It's the same with politicians. Like, if we want to live in a peaceful world, take the policemen away from the politicians and just have it so anyone who's got an issue with them can go around their house. Do you know what I mean? That's what accountability is. But there's no accountability. And the fear is millions of people are going to go out of work, so 15 people who live in Silicon Valley can have more billions of dollars.
Yeah.
There ended the sermon. It's disgusting. Okay, so let me just show you this thing, because this is the actual issue, which is, my buttons are working again, which is good. But I'm only seeing tiny previews. It's this one. Here's the actual issue. This is what's going on. So let me refresh that and turn on the sound.
There's a real danger that we're facing, and Signal is
I am hearing
clocking
it now.
this pretty closely, of the introduction of this sort of notion of agentic AI into our devices and lives, in part because what we're doing is giving so much control to these systems that are going to need access to data. So if you read the kind of, you read the marketing on this, the value add is something like, can look up a concert, book a ticket, schedule it in your calendar, and message all your friends that it's booked, right? And so we can just put our brain in a jar because the thing is doing that and we don't have to touch it, right? And so what would it need to do that? Well, it would need access to our browser, an ability to drive that. It would need our credit card information to pay for the tickets. It would need access to our calendar, everything we're doing, everyone we're meeting. It would need access to Signal to open and send that message to our friends. And it would need to be able to drive that across our entire system with something that looks like root permission, accessing every single one of those databases, probably in the clear, because there's no model to do that encrypted. And if we're talking about a sufficiently powerful model, AI model that's powering that, there's no way that's happening on device, even though on device isn't a prophylactic, isn't going to really solve a lot of those issues. That's almost certainly being sent to a cloud server where it's being processed and sent back. So there's a profound issue with security and privacy that is haunting this sort of hype around agents, and that is ultimately threatening to break the blood-brain barrier between the application layer and the OS layer by conjoining all of these separate services, muddying their data,
All right, I think it's enough.
and doing
We get
things
the- we
like
get the thing.
undermining
Were you
the
hearing that?
privacy of your Signal messages because, hey, the
Good. So here's the issue. It's not how clever it is. The issue is how much control we want to give it, and they want to give it all of the control. So this idea of agencies, great, I don't have to do anything. Well, now I'm not going to get paid for doing anything. But it's about the amount of control that they give it. Because I've got Sam Altman also talking about ChatGPT 7 is going to be cleverer than the president. Well, I'd argue that my dog's cleverer than the president. My dog died in 2012. It's about the control. Do you know what I mean? It's not about the capability. It's not about the cleverness. It's not about any of these things. And what we know, here's what I actually think, is these things are being built by megalomaniacs. And because they're megalomaniacs, they're building megalomaniacs. So they're building megalomaniac AIs because they want to take over the world. That's exactly what's going on. Because of their idiot ideology, billions isn't enough. They're already worth billions. Now they have to put millions of people out of work. Screwed up mentality. That's my fear. I don't even need to show you Sam Altman saying it's going to be cleverer than me. It will run OpenAI. I mean, it's just... This
Fair
is
enough.
why I think we need other countries to come to the race.
So
And I
let
hope
me jump
China
into
and
that.
Russia do quickly. Sorry?
So on that note, right? So recently, July 30th. Okay. So this is the China Daily. So advocate of ethical and safe use of AI that benefits all, not just a privileged few. So actually, there was the World Intelligence Conference recently, and a bunch of the big companies showed up, and countries. And as you said, the White House is focused on winning the AI race, right? But China, to my extremely limited research, was pushing for it all to be open source. So everyone has everything accessible to everyone, and we can all work on the same formulation of rules and sort of figuring it out together, rather than it being independently run by one company, country. I always interchange those words. Don't know if it's a Freudian slip or I'm just stupid these days. But anyway, essentially like you're saying, it seems like China wants, shared benefits for everyone. Now, is this real? Is this propaganda? I don't know. But that article specifically is aligned with what you were saying. On the other side of it, I think George Hinton was his surname, the one you were saying, the godfather of AI. The reason he's the godfather of AI is because he was working on, there was like two fields of thoughts, and I learned this from the Diary of a CEO, his interview there. There was two fields of thoughts in which way AI could go. Some bet on one and he bet on the other. And so he really developed that. But back then, this AI was like, can it move a switch up and down on its own? It was nothing complicated. So it's a bit like, yes, he built the foundations of the bomb, but in the beginning, all he was building was like the fuse. He didn't know what it was going to be attached to. He assumed at some point there could be something, but he didn't know what it was. So that's his point of view. I'm just paraphrasing, So, and now what happened was he was then working with Google, and then he was like, he quit so that he could go and give a talk and respectfully say like, oh my God, look what we've created. We're so sorry. It feels a bit like Oppenheimer, like I am become death, So that's
but
why
this
I
is
still
what
give
she's
this
also
guy
saying in the
respect.
book, is they were comparing themselves to Oppenheimer while they were making this thing.
Yeah.
And the rationalization apparently is that AI is going to be clever enough to solve that problem, but they have to win, so they have to keep developing it. And so here's 100% what's going to happen. This is just going to be another great big split like 2008, where more of the wealth just goes to fewer people and more people are homeless and more people are hungry and all of those things. It's just going to be an increased concentration of the wealth in even fewer people. So we talk about the 1%. It's not 1%, it's 0.001%. And in the future, it's going to be 0.0000001% are going to have all the wealth, because these monsters aren't happy having billions of dollars. So they need to see millions of people suffering.
We get it,
That's
but let's take that extremely skeptical view, because I just saw a video from Elon Musk, and I don't know if it was real or deepfake or whatever, but I think that is our challenge. So our challenge for next week is to both find what we find the reported motivations for creating AI to be, because the video I saw of Elon Musk, and again, it wasn't from a reputable source, could be total rubbish, was that because AI and robotics would be able to create unlimited products and services, it would remove poverty. I don't know how. I didn't watch it all the way through because I wasn't sure if it was real, but that's the challenge I put for us. Go and research the motivations of it, and then figure out, without our own bias to start with, what are the potential paths. Is it total poverty? Is it eradicating poverty as the two polarizing opposites? Did you accept that challenge?
Well, I think I already understand that challenge because I'm reading this book and she's talking about it. Elon Musk was involved with...
I'm saying like we're going to see what they're talking about now while they're trying to backtrack, not what people wrote about when it's going to be built. It's built and it exists. So what are these people saying? How are they justifying it? And I'm not saying we have to believe it. Just find out what they're saying of how they're justifying it.
Okay. I mean, we can accept that challenge. I think we've got work to do, like getting this thing moving better. Which I thought would be the challenge. Like, is it of practical use? But we can do that as well. But I think I know quite a lot about it because I'm reading this book at the moment, and I read the other book. And okay, that's the challenge. Good. All right. Oh, part of the challenge. We also need to come up with practical things that we need to get done. So this moves forward. Okay, good. Do you have an AI fear? You do have AI fears. Sorry, I got on one. But I really do think they're idiots. I really do think they've let Pandora out the box. Yes.
Got it. Okay, so mine is Microsoft's AI applicability score. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so Microsoft's research, they analyzed 200,000 anonymized conversations, right? And using the Copilot chatbot. So as you can imagine, people using Microsoft, it's got Copilot, lots and lots of communication there. And so they analyzed them to assess job roles in terms of task overlap with generative AI. And then they created this AI applicability score, which measures how much AI can assist or perform core tasks in each profession. And so the result is a ranked list of the 40 most and then the 40 least exposed occupations, which basically show you who's going to be out of a job soon. So what I'm going to do is share screen, because I found an article that has the top 10 and the bottom 10 rather than showing you the full 40. Boom, boom, boom. Here it is. So most and least effective jobs. So according to the paper, the top 10 jobs where AI applicability overlaps with the most expected are interpreter and translators, right? Boom, you're gone. Historians, passenger attendants, sales representatives of services, writers and authors, custom service representatives, CNC tool programmers, telephone operators, ticket agents and travel clerks, broadcast announcers and radio DJs. I mean, you already have Spotify DJ and whatever else. So these...
Can you zoom in at all on that list?
Yeah, these are the 10 most exposed.
I don't know if I agree with that. Okay, but that's okay.
I mean, this is
The
based on the
least
data.
exposed are?
So logging equipment operators, I assume you know that's cutting down trees rather than logging data. Motorboat operators, orderlies, floor sanders and finishers, pile driver operators, rail track laying and maintenance equipment operators, foundry mold and core makers, water treatment plant and system operators, bridge and lock tenders, and dredge operators. So very, very, very niche jobs.
No, I don't believe this. This is junk.
Anyway, this is just
junk.
based on their initial research.
Right, because
which is
like
quite
a
interesting.
logging engineer... Sorry, go back to the list. So I think on the list of the most at risk, it has to be copywriters. Everyone's churning out copy already. So it has to be copywriters.
They have that. Writers and authors, that's included.
Okay, writers and authors. Yeah, I don't know about authors because maybe like novels, maybe fiction. I don't know. I definitely think like with the graphics, I think graphic designers should be there. Coders should be there because I had a video, but I've lost it now, which was talking about for the last 25 years, we've been telling everyone learn to code. And Mark Zuckerberg's come out already and said 90% of our coders in a year's time will be AI agents. So coders should be there.
Maybe that's a CNC tool programmer.
No, CNC is a definite type of engineering. It's designing how
responsible
you
for the
cut
creation
metal
of
and stuff.
instructions that control computer numerical control machines, which are used in manufacturing. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
That's
a
like a
lot
very
more on the list.
specific
These are just the highest ones, right? There's
But
like
the thing
40
is,
of...
like, are you telling me that we can have self-driving cars, but we can't have self-driving boats? Is that what they're saying? Like, if you drive a boat, you're the most secure. Like,
I mean, I'm also going to
least
assume, right?
10.
So as we said, this is from 200,000 anonymized interactions with Bing Copilot. One, it's Bing Copilot, so it's not like everyone's using it. And two, if you're doing this job, right, the motorboat operator, you're probably not using ChatGPT or Bing to understand how to use it. So I'm just saying that this was part of the fear I wanted to share, where there's already, it's not about those jobs. It's about the fact that they're already using the data of how people use AI to do their jobs, to extract the information to see which jobs they could remove first. That's what I am saying the fear is. It's that it doesn't matter what's on that list, that's irrelevant. It's like, hey, these people are using AI. Let's take that data, like your video was explaining. It's all owned somewhere. See what tasks are being automated. And bada boom, bada bing. Hey, fire all your team. We can do that for you for a $10 a month.
Okay, so I wasn't thinking
That's the
about
fear.
it quite like that.
That's the fear. It doesn't matter what's on that list
It
right
does
now.
matter what's
We'll
on the
all be
list
that
because
list.
it demonstrates again that AI is an idiot sometimes. Of course, you can have an automated boat driver if you can have an automated. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I get your point. So what you're saying is now that they're using the people who are using it to automate their stuff. They're using that data to take those customers' jobs. Is that what you're saying?
That is where my fear was laid in. Yes.
Yes.
For me, the scary part, and that's why I wanted to read that part, is they use 200,000 anonymized conversations of people using their AI to figure out whose job they could take. That to me was the fear. I don't care how many they used or what jobs they came up with in this first version. Next month it'll be another list, and next month another list, and that's it. It's the auto cannibalization, but it's not.
And this is.
Sorry, I just
this is
finished
why
this
we
thought.
can't leave it with the Americans.
But just this, so it's like Facebook, right? First, hey, make your ads and put them on. Oh, it's like, oh, now Facebook can write the copy for you. Fire copywriters. Oh, now Facebook can make the graphics for you. Fire that. Oh, now Facebook will compare your ads and run the campaigns for you. Fire your performance marketers. So Facebook example, or Meta, was cannibalizing the people that were actually doing the work on their platform as like third-party agencies. But now Microsoft is doing this for everyone that uses bloody Microsoft for their work. You know, so that's what I mean. It's the cannibalization of the users, which is what is the fear.
Yeah, that's the fear. That is definitely the fear. And It's 100% going to be a mass unemployment event. And this is why we can't trust the Americans with it, is because the Americans have a horrible, horrible history of not taking care of people who don't add value to the system. So what's going to happen? I don't know how many millions of Americans are already homeless. I know hundreds of thousands of Americans go bankrupt every year because they can't afford to pay for their medical treatment. You know, America has a horrible, and the UK has a horrible history of not taking care of people. Where I am right now in Saudi Arabia, they take care of everyone. If you work or if you don't work, you're taken care of. So this is why I'm hoping that China or Russia or somebody else is going to come through, because left up to the Americans, everybody's going to be unemployed, and the only people with any money are going to be 15 people who sit in in Silicon Valley. And yeah, that's horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Shall we go to a fail? It's quite funny.
Yeah.
It's quite old as well, is the truth. But that's okay. It's quite old. So this was about a year ago, and I was developing a training for negotiation. And there's a problem. I don't know if you know about the, where is it? If you know about the 17 camels, do you know about the 17 camels problem?
You took me through this. I'm not sure if it was on the podcast or when we were discussing creating the podcast.
Okay, so the problem is the guy dies, he's got 17 camels, he wants the eldest one to have half, the second eldest to have a third, the youngest to have a ninth. That doesn't work if it's 17, there's a clever thing, blah, 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 blah. So that's the problem. So we use it when we train people on negotiation to demonstrate that sometimes a negotiation isn't a negotiation, it's a problem that needs to be solved. So the long story short is I needed a slide with 17 camels on it. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me a picture of 17 camels. Are you seeing this?
Yep.
And
Not the
it
picture.
gave me this picture.
Yeah.
And it said, here's the image of 17 camels. And I said, I asked for 17 camels. And it said, here is the image of 17 camels as requested. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like. And I said, that's much more than 17 camels. Now, remember that what AI is data processing. But it turns out it can't count camels. So as this went on, I said, that's much more than 17 camels. It came back and it said, here is the image featuring exactly 17 camels in the desert. Let me know if you'd like anything further. It's just put the number 17 in it. So I said, that's 37 camels. And it says, I apologize for the confusion. I'll ensure the next image accurately displays exactly 17 camels. Let me correct that for you right away. And the image it gave me is this image. And it says, here's the image with exactly 17 camels in the desert. Let me know if it meets your expectations or if you'd like any further adjustments. And I said, can you not count camels? And it said, I apologize for the mix-up with the previous image. I'll assure the next attempt displays exactly 17 camels. And so the number 17 is back. And there's many, many more camels. And I said, that's 32 camels. And it says, I sincerely apologize for the repeated mistakes. Seems I can't do it. I can't count camels. So this is the danger. This is the absolute danger, is that actually computers aren't very good. You know, they're still, and specifically the computers that aren't very good are Microsoft computers who hold a 50% share in ChatGPT. So before they give it the nuclear codes, could they at least just make sure it can count camels, is all I'm asking.
Yeah, GPT-5 comes out next month, so I'll be curious to see how that changes things.
The way it changes things is some things will be amazingly better. It will just still make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, but
because it's just a computer program. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep telling it, Martin. It's just a computer program.
It's just a computer program. It's just a tool. It's like my spade doesn't want to take over the world because I haven't told my spade it's every bit as valuable as me, and it should. Do you know what I mean? Like my knife and fork don't want to take over the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So where does that
And this has happened a few times where what happens is ChatGPT can't do the thing. Like I asked it for an image last week and it just gave me nothing. And I'm like, where's my image? And he said, oh, I didn't need to tell you because I already delivered the thing. It's like, you didn't. And it's like, no, it's like arguing with a moody teenager. It's like, where's my image? And I said, oh, here's a link to download your image. And I download it and it's a text file. this is why we're going to have this AI fail section to demonstrate every week this isn't intelligent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It isn't intelligent. It will make stupid mistakes. And the issue that the world has to come to terms with is that we can't give this stupid technology the keys to the nuclear bombs.
But my argument is still
it will
that
blow
one,
us all up.
my argument is still that one, it's as smart as it's an intern. So for me, I'd call it like artificial intern
It's
rather
not.
than anything else. And wait, secondly,
It's not.
if you gave me a hammer and you gave a handyman a hammer and I smash my thumb in and he builds a house with it, you know, it's also on the user. So I bet you I could prompt it to give me 17 camels and it won't make a mistake.
No, excuse me. So we just need to absolutely categorically draw a line here. I asked it 6 times for 17 camels. So you want to fight? I mean, this was a year ago, so the image might be better now. I haven't checked it recently, but it's still making these stupid mistakes, is what I'm saying. And it's not user error. It's being built by megalomaniacs. Like I wanted to learn Indonesian, so I set it up and I'm speaking to it. Hey, teach me Indonesian. And it's like, yeah, sure, let's learn Indonesian. And about 3 minutes in, I'm like, this is really good, but could you slow down a little bit so I can understand? And the thing told me, I think that's enough now. I think you've had enough this morning. And it's like, no, I want to learn. And the computer's telling me what to do, like a moody teenager. This is the issue. And I think there's a lot of this. So I'm going to make and this is why we need to do this AI fail every week. We need to demonstrate every week this isn't reliable. You know, this is not reliable. So before Sam Altman hands over the keys to OpenAI or Donald Trump hands over the keys to the White House, they just need to know that essentially this is 50% Microsoft and Microsoft is junk. I haven't used a Microsoft machine for 17 years, but I'm still told that you still get a blue screen of death. They haven't fixed that in 17 years.
No. What I mean is it's not blue screen anymore. They've removed the blue screen and the smiley face, and now it's a black screen with an error.
Because that's how nerds fix stuff. Because that's how nerds fix it. You don't like the blue screen? Okay, we'll make it green.
Yeah,
it's green
black.
Now.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. It's green. And this is exactly because these AIs are essentially projections of the people who make them. And the people at the very top who make them are megalomaniacs. And the people who are writing the code are moody teenagers.
So where does this leave us? What do we do next?
What do we do next? I think we kind of got to the end.
Yeah, I think we've gone through all of the bits and pieces, but so we have a mini challenge, which is looking at the points of views of the, as you put them, 15 megalomaniacs and their views on AI versus poverty.
So that will be the think bit, yeah? That'll be the think bit.
Yeah,
that's like you need to come with a fail because I feel like you're judging me now. So you need to come with an example of where it hasn't worked for you. Okay, so we could demonstrate if it is user error where... Sorry?
I have a bunch, but I make them work.
Good,
you know me.
But let's share them
positive.
Because somebody in the world needs to be reminding everybody that this isn't reliable.
Yeah.
That's what somebody has to do. That's why we have to have that section.
I just like to laugh and be the skeptic of your failures, you know, and just laugh at you.
It's fine. It's not fine. Okay, good. Right, so we need a challenge. The challenge is, I think, we need to work out exactly what it is we should be doing at this point in our journey. Like, are you getting these up now? Are these being posted?
1 and 2 were. I'll do 3 and 4 this week, and I'll do this one as well once it's ready. I mean, I think there was some stuff I didn't want to show, so I need to figure out how to edit them. But yes, I can export them from Riverside, put them onto YouTube, and because I changed accounts now on this account, I'll be able to export clips and stuff. So actually, it can go live. But we don't have any socials yet, just YouTube.
Yeah, so this is probably the challenge, is what, if we want to be growing this, do we need to be doing next? Like, what exactly do we need to be doing?
But so I feel like we finally have an episode with good content, because I actually really enjoyed this episode and we were fun and we knew what we were doing. Whereas the other ones, I was a bit rocky and shaky and I didn't really want to make a scene of them. But this one has a lot of fun interaction and I feel like hopefully people will enjoy it and it'll be fun to promote. So now I feel more confident. They'll get some value
from it, hopefully, and they'll realise that they shouldn't bet their house on this stuff. So the thing is, I think what we need to do is we need to come back, each of us, with a list. These are the next 10 most important things we need to do. And then once we've got those lists, then to my mind, we could say, okay, can AI help us with these things? Because
So that's the
we
challenge.
know,
A simple,
being
a simple
marketing
actionable
people,
list.
a simple, actionable list. What are the next 10 or 15 things we can be doing? Because then we can go to the list and we can go, like, we know there should be socials. So then we do that. And then we're going to have to feed those socials. So we're going to need clips. So once we get that actionable list, then we can start looking at the actions and say, okay, how effective is AI at helping us get these things done? Good plan?
And do we just come with the list, or do we already assume which ones? Like imagine I make a table.
No.
Here's my
We
10
just come with
tasks,
the
here's
list
what
and
I
we
think
discuss
AI
it.
So I shouldn't preempt which ones I think AI can help with, or like tools and stuff.
No.
Okay.
We rush into the world blind to see if it can help us. Because I think this is how we add value for people, is if they're thinking, can this actually help me? Because, like, I spent, with our logo, I spent an hour and a half. What are you saying? Why are you laughing now? What happened? 17 camels. There you go. Is it 17 camels?
No.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not reliable. It's not reliable, is it?
My
It's not
imaginary
reliable.
hat is off to you. Yes, you're right.
Good.
I really
Okay.
thought it was just because it's old. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's why I was
So
laughing.
in the time we've been doing this with the logo that we've got, the F has been the wrong color. I've spent 2 hours trying to get it, make the F the right color. Do you know what I mean? So the value that we're delivering is showing, like, and when it came up with the logo, it's luck. You know, it's like it can't be by design. It's literally by luck. And then you have to take it and you have to find someone who can actually make it the right thing. So this is the value that we're going to be adding, I think, for people in the world. If you've got this problem, then yes, AI can help you. And if you've got this problem, don't waste your time. Yeah. Like, realistically.
Super.
And not just doing the hype. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is whatever. Because actually, I think it's all BS. But we might be able to find some value in it. That's where I'm coming from. And you obviously think it's great, and you'll come from the other way, and that's maybe what makes it interesting.
I love
Good.
it. Awesome.
I
Thank
think
you
we
so
got to
much
the
for
end.
today, Martin. I think this is great.
Thank you so much for today. I thought I was too tired to do this, but it turns out I had enough in the tank. These people are idiots, Alex. You and me, we have to stop them ending the world. We have to stop them.
You're already in Bali and I'm already in Thailand, so it's
And I'm saving up for my bunker. I just hope I get my bunker built before they actually end the world. Before the AI police come around my house.
All right, super. Well, thanks to everyone. If you made it this far, you're probably insane like us. So message us with any of your thoughts and things you want to learn about or hear about.
That's the last thing, is fail mail. So people can message us with examples of ways that that AI has messed up for them. And there's a way for people to get engaged. Let's pretend anyone is actually watching this at this point.
We'll have a link. We'll have a link in the description below, or above, or on the right, or whichever platform.
You're going to do that?
In.
Yeah. And the answer to your question is, ask AI for the titles and the descriptions. It used to be really
Riverside
difficult.
does it. Riverside does it now for you automatically. It's just I was on the wrong account and the way I had it set up, but now I've got it all set up right.
Okay, super cool.
When I say set up, I was on the free account we had, and now on this paid account, it does it through that. I just didn't want to pay twice.
Good.
Yeah.
All right then, dude. How long have we been going now for today?
1 hour 15.
Really?
I'm gonna stop this now. Bye, audience.
It felt much. Yeah. Bye.